This week on Ryan and Megan, we're going to discuss our new assignment. We have a contract signed and we are leaving Missouri. So we're real excited about this. Stay tuned and find out where we're going.
Welcome to episode 24 of Ryan and Megan podcast. We are Ryan and Megan, two traveling physical therapists. We travel with our family. And today we're going to tell you where we are traveling to next. We have been in the state of Missouri for quite a while. We've actually done a lot of travel and non-travel inside of Missouri. We've been traveling for like 4 years. Yeah. And like half of that or more, we've taken contracts in Missouri. But we've had 2 kids and we have a sticks and bricks home we like to go back to. And then we like to also be on the road. But some of our favorite memories of traveling have been in the west part of the country. There's just something about it. It is beautiful. So we were reminiscing the other day about our time in the western part of the country.
Now, mind you, we haven't spent hardly any time in the East, especially not on travel assignment.
We're not hating on the East.
So we haven't given it a good try, but the West does seem to be the best.
It's really pretty.
It is pretty awesome out there. Before we hop into too much, though, if you could just go ahead and leave us a 5-star review, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you're listening to this podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star review. That helps get our information out to more people who are interested in doing this travel lifestyle.
Yeah. So if you listened to last week's episode, you know that we no longer have use of our RV. It's going to be in the shop.
She gone.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be there for a while, probably a few months. So we've said sayonara to it for now. And that kind of opened up some more locations in our job search because our RV went out of commission right in the middle of our job search. So we were looking in southern portions of the country. We really kind of wanted to go south for the winter. We were looking for a place in Florida just because we hadn't traveled to that area yet. And because we're also traveling with one of our couple friends that we met on contract in Arizona. And one of their goals was to make it down to the Florida national parks.
Yeah, so I applied months ago for a Florida license. We had that, my friend Evan, or our friend Evan, Evan and Leah. So they're a married couple that we met in Arizona. We just happened to have travel contracts near the same town, and so we met up. We met through our social medias.
Yep.
And we're all around the same age, and we just really hit it off. And so we traveled with them. If you've watched our content, you've probably seen them in some of our earlier vlogs. Back when this channel, we did more vlogging. We don't do that as much now. And so we've kept up with them for many years. And then we've also have met them in the state of Washington when we went to Washington near Seattle and did a little contract near them there and traveled around to some national parks. But since then, we have all had kids. And so we have 2 kids. They have a young son that's near our youngest's age. And they're traveling as a family. We're traveling as a family. And so we've always talked to them and dreamed of, hey, we should totally do like a caravan situation where we both go travel, because now you're a stay-home mom and Leah's a stay-home mom. And so Evan and I do the working part of it. And so we were like, well, let's just travel as a PT team, because Evan's a PT, I'm a PT. And so that's what we did. We made our contracts end at the same time, our current contracts, and then searched for 2 jobs.
And we've had practice doing that before. We did both work before we had kids. And so we've looked for team jobs in the past and known that it's possible to find. And so it's basically the same as doing what we've done before, except we've got two families considerations to put into the equation. I can't think of words.
Yeah. There's just you just have a lot more people you have to consider. That's part of too, I think, traveling as a family. Why it kind of makes it a little hard is, it's not just you as a solo traveler. That's all you have to worry about. You have more responsibilities, and so now add a whole nother family on top of that. But we were all real excited,
Yeah,
and
I'm
we
real
were
excited for
hoping
this.
we were hoping for Florida. So Evan and I got our Florida license. It's not a compact state, unfortunately, so we got the full license, paid the full amount of money, and as you will learn as a traveler, sometimes if you want to go to certain states, you probably need to go ahead and get that license. And even when you first start out, maybe as a new traveler, you might have to get 2 or 3 license, or if your profession has a compact license, and maybe look in those compact states. Because when you submit, it always looks a little better when you've already have the license for the most part. Some people are willing to wait. So we did that. We looked in Florida, but we just were not finding anything, or they weren't taking 2 PTs, or we couldn't get 2 jobs close enough together. And so then we were like, well, we can wait a certain amount, but then we were nearing the point where, okay, we need to start getting something booked. So we started broadening our horizons. Like Megan said, our RV ended up with a huge hole in it from a blown tire. So we knew it was going to the shop and we weren't going to use it. That allowed us to seek more cold environments, because with the RV, there's only so much cold that it can handle, even though we did stay in Missouri for the whole winter, and it got really cold, and it did.
I mean, if you prep for winter weather, I think you can get through it and survive it. I think if you're in very northern states where their winters are very long,
northern states would be tough.
Yeah.
Well, and they just don't have RV parks that are open. So a lot of times RV parks close, something you have to consider. But we didn't.
Anyway, that wasn't in the way anymore.
That wasn't in the way anymore. So we started looking at other places. We considered stuff around the Smoky Mountains. We couldn't get anything to line up there. We considered Maine, but that would have been a whole nother license we had to get, and they weren't willing to take our application until we got that license.
In the fall.
And so then
we looked at Montana.
We looked at going back to Montana. That would have been fun. We're always open to Montana. But we finally found one with a company that was taking 2 PTs. All of our recruiters did really great. We had all of our attack dogs out there searching for us. So we work with 3 to 4 recruiters at a time. And we had them all searching for stuff for us, and they did a great job. They all worked really hard, but we finally found one. And so, I guess making our big...
You interviewed, and they didn't offer you the job.
No, I always interview well.
You are always interviewing. Nope, both the boys got an interview set up, and they ended up getting offered the job, and they are in... Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. So we have not taken a travel assignment in Colorado. They're actually...
It's a compact state, so you didn't have to worry about the process of licensing and that taking forever. That was great news.
Mm-hmm. And it's a sought after job. So a lot of times when we've looked at Colorado, there hasn't been too many jobs, or maybe not around the Denver, Colorado Springs area. Maybe it's more rural Colorado. And so we were really fortunate for them to have a team PT job in the home health setting, which we both prefer, and at good pay. So we're really excited to be there in the fall.
Yeah, I really don't know how those jobs were open.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. Our recruiters worked magic, because I think they listed one job, and then if you're a team out there, you can always ask your recruiter to look at maybe they have one job listing, but then have them reach out to them and see if they would be willing to open up another job for the other part of your team. And so that's what we did here, and they were willing to take on 2 PTs. They originally listed the job in Colorado Springs, And then they gave us like our home health territory, and it was like South Denver.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, well,
Not Colorado Springs, but
not Colorado, but
either way is fine. It's going to be great.
near Denver.
Yeah, there's going to be so much stuff to do. Just looking on the map of like, it just feels like there's so much more to do in the West and in a mountainous area. I think we've decided, I mean, we haven't taken a contract at the beach. We tried, but I think we're pretty firm in our belief that we prefer mountainous territories.
Yeah, mountains over beach right now.
Yeah, for now. That could change. But we're excited. There's a lot of stuff we're hoping to go see and do. And I am really excited for traveling with another family because I think that's going to give a little bit of support, especially for myself with the girls, and not being close to home anymore where I can go back and visit family or visit the girls' friends. That is one thing that I think we will miss. But by traveling with another family, we're kind of building that in a little bit. And that's really exciting because that is one thing that can be hard. But now we've just got built in like friends and family.
Right. So now Megan and the girls, and then
and play dates.
Yeah, and then the other family with Leah staying home. She's a stay-home mom. You guys kind of have that built-in mom support, which, if we had just went out there by ourselves, just like here, you are alone with the girls the whole time and without the feeling of family nearby. And so that can be lonesome as I'm out working and you're, home and can't go anywhere. So
I think that is one thing I would suggest, just a random tidbit of like what to do if you want to travel with a family. I would suggest going to locations that doesn't have to be like a big city, but locations that have somewhat of like a city environment so that you have things to take your kids to. So if you're in a real rural town, like there are some contracts that are really rural, if you go as a family with your kids, then that means you're not going to have like a nice library resources. You're not going to have malls that might have play places. You're not going to have like jungle gyms. You're not going to have a lot of options to take your kids to. And that's really helpful to have when you are in a new environment, to find all of those fun things to go to and activities to kind of make.
Yeah, I think activities to look into around or near the town that you will be staying is important.
And there's
kids.
always other things that you can do, or different age ranges might not need those types of things. But at our point, I would definitely nix a rural contract because I would be dying. Just so you know.
Yeah, this is news to me. I'll be honest. No, it makes sense. You guys, like you and the kids go to the library here often. There's some indoor playgrounds, which are great for super hot days or in the winter when it was
There's
super
community
cold.
Pools.
Community pools. Rural places probably have some of this. So again, I would just look in the area where you're going. And then if they don't, then maybe that'd be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited to be traveling with another family. I feel like this is like another, I've never seen this done before. Yeah, this will be
another like phase.
But I'm really happy that you'll have support during the day.
Me too.
And the kids will have
memories.
Another kid to play with, and so it'll be great.
Yeah, a built-in friend. If you have recommendations on things to go do in the Denver, Colorado Springs area, please send them our way. We do love to do things outdoors, but we do have kids. So we're still kind of in that phase of trying to find like hikes and outdoor things that are good difficulty level and like time commitment. So if you've got good recommendations for those, send them our way. We want to check out Pikes Peak and
Rocky Mountain National Park.
The Garden of the Gods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're excited. Denver's not too far of a flight for our family, so we'll probably have family be coming out. They're already starting to book their tickets to come see us.
That's really fun.
So that's another fun bonus, even though we miss being with family back in our home. It's a lot of fun. You get to make memories with them as they come out to your assignment location.
And then we kind of have our travels planned out in a cool way because my brother and sister-in-law's house is on the way to Denver in the Kansas City area. So we're going to like make a pit stop there, and Reagan is going to get to play with her cousin all day. And then the next day we're taking the longest drive of our trip. It's about 6 hours. So this is another thing we've thought about with kids is how many hours do we want to tackle all at once? How many days do we need to get out there? So the first day will be around 3 to get to KC. And then the next day, we're trying to make it 6 hours to get to our friend's place in rural Colorado. His family's fantastic. We've known him since college, and he lived in St. Louis for a while and has moved back to his hometown in Colorado. So we're getting the unique opportunity. We don't get to go there and see them often. So we're going to stop there and see them. And then the last leg will be like 3 hours to the Denver
3
area.
or 4 hours.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
In and of itself, you know?
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, you got to take advantage as a traveler of the time before your contract, the time in between your contract, the time after your contract, to sightsee a little bit as you go out, or family see is I guess what we're calling it.
And another thing we'd love to do is, I don't know, I guess we're not doing this on our way out, but our first travel contract out to Montana, we didn't even know like about national parks. Like I'm sure we knew about it in the back of our head, but we didn't know it was such a great treasure. Like they are a treasure of our country. Such a great idea. Theodore Roosevelt, right?
I don't know. Don't ask me history
Oh
stuff.
yeah, it was totally him. Anyway, I don't really know. But we stopped at, what was the one we stopped at?
We stopped at the Badlands National Park
in South Dakota. And we were like driving and we were like, the Badlands. We literally, our route took us like through it, and that's the only reason we stopped.
Yeah, we went right by it. It was just off the highway.
So we stopped and we walked around for like an hour and a half. Anyway, we feel like we didn't do it justice because we didn't even have any clue what we had stumbled upon. So we're like kind of in that area a little bit. We thought about going back and visiting it, but that's not in the plans right now.
No, it's far away.
So then what were we thinking about doing it?
Well, when we were thinking about possible jobs back in Montana, doing that trip over.
I know Colorado and South Dakota are far away, but it to me, like being closer to the west side of the...
No, it's very far away.
Okay, whatever.
But we would like to do that again.
We would like to visit again.
We are more aware of national parks since starting traveling, and it's one of our favorite things to do, to go see new national parks. And so we have both individually been to Rocky Mountain National Park, but together we haven't been to Rocky Mountain National Park.
My grandparents, fun fact, they travel in an RV for part of the year, and they like volunteer or they work at different national parks or monuments or whatever. But they have worked at Grand Lake for lots of years. I don't know how many times they've gone back, but that was kind of one of their staples that they did. And I got to visit that area when I was a kid. It's beautiful, but I want to go back there because I want to get a glimpse again at kind of where they've worked. That's a beautiful spot.
So we have found housing. That was a little bit of difficulty because we are trying to rent a big home,
large house,
to house both families. That seemed to be the cheapest option compared to renting 2 little homes. And so there's just not that many, 4 or 5 bedroom homes. And so we did find one. We are thankful we get to move into it on September 1st, which is actually a week later than our contract starts. So we're piecing together a 1-week Airbnb before that. But so thankful that we found it. Finding housing is always a little stressful, even with an RV, because you're calling multiple RV parks or you're looking on Furnished Finder, and some people update their stuff. Some people never get back to you. You're trying to figure out, is their place available for the full 3 months? Do they pay month to month? There's just all these different factors. And then you got to consider, is this a safe part of town? Is this not a safe part of town? And then if you're budget, yeah, you can only spend so much, and you can spend as much as you want.
Housing is high.
You have your own budget, but housing right now with rent prices are high. RV rent is high.
Yeah. Housing is just hard in general, no matter.
It is. It's definitely easier when it's just you, or maybe it's just a couple traveling like early on. Much harder when you have a whole family and you need a bigger space. That's partly why we do a little bit of RVing, but it doesn't necessarily make the housing part easier. So it was definitely a stressful couple weeks just getting no's and no's on all this housing. But we finally found one, so we're good to go.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is the tea. That is where we're going to be. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be having fun in the Rockies. Okay. We have yet to decide if we're going to ski and bring our little babies. Can you imagine them bundled up in all their ski gear? They'll be like little snow bunnies.
It'll be
sliding
fun.
Down the mountain.
Right now, we just have the standard 13-week assignment. That'll end in the end of November. And then we'll kind of see as we get closer to it if we're going to stay another 3 months or if we're going to try to go somewhere else. But
yes,
I'm excited to maybe try skiing and snowboarding. Like, I've been wanting to get back to that, and we've always enjoyed it. You and I have went skiing and snowboarding a couple of different times in Colorado, actually.
We have new concerns.
But we have new concerns because, if I'm on the ski mountain and I blow out my knee, I'm the one who's making the money. So then
we could trade spots.
We
do
could.
Little tradesies.
Let's think. Yeah, what is good is that you are also a PT, so you just take over my job, and then I just have to hobble around to take care of the girls.
Chase our girls. Also,
but it's like real adulting, parenting.
Well, the other
worries of like, what if I get hurt, and I can't provide? It's kind of crazy. It makes me feel old.
The other thing is, for me, I've had children, and both of the moms that I know, my mom and his mom, do not do well at skiing or snowboarding down the mountain. They've tried. It's okay. It's just not the funnest activity. And I don't know, maybe it's something with becoming a mother. Something magically happens to your equilibrium and your strength.
You're right. You haven't went skiing or snowboarding since having kids. So this should be interesting. We'll probably do it.
Anyway, if you want to go to someplace cool like Denver, Colorado, but you need a recruiter to make the deal, hit us up because we would love to share our recruiter recommendations with you. You can email us at ryanandmeganorear@gmail.com, or you can click the link in the description, or you can go to our website and click on recruiter recommendations. Our website is ryanandmeganorear.com. Yeah, so that you can go do something cool.
Yeah, we'd love to share those recruiters with you. We've had tons of people that have reached out, and we've connected them with our recruiters, and they're taking their first assignment this year. So that's really exciting.
That is exciting. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're podcasting, sharing the news. And we hope you have a great week. And until next time,
see ya.